is case number 16,931. Paul and Andrea Kuehl, 41 Twin Oaks Drive, Kings Park, New York. Location south side of Twin Oaks Drive, 1,745 feet east of Heather Drive, Kings Park. Property zoned R15. The request is a variance to increase the height of a fence retaining wall from 6 to 8 feet, to reduce the minimum setback of a retaining wall from the property line from 3 to 1 foot, and reduce the minimum setback of a 6-foot fence from a 2-foot retaining wall from 2 to 0 feet.
May I have your name, please?
Paul Kahl, it's K-A-H-L.
And your address, Paul.
41 Twin Oaks Drive, Kings Park.
Okay. Are you going to speak too?
I'm going
I'm Andrea Call,
Okay.
and the spelling of our name is incorrect on the,
Oh,
I
okay, I'm
apologize.
so I don't know if that
There's a
makes
U
a
here.
difference.
sorry. All right.
I
Spell
thought
it
it was-
for me?
K-A-H-L?
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, will both of you raise your right hand, please? You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank
do.
you.
Okay.
Want to tell us why you're here, please?
Sure, good evening. We're here to petition for a variance. We have a request to permit a fence to be constructed greater than 6 feet to 8 feet. There is a block retaining wall that we measures out 2 feet with a 6-foot PVC fence on top of it along the east side of the property lot. We are also asking for a reduction of the minimum setback of the retaining wall from 3 feet to 1 feet, as well as minimum setback from the fence of 2 feet to 0 feet. This is a PVC fence that is to enclose the rear property. This is intended to provide security and privacy for my wife and children, as well as contain animals, foster dogs that we have from both exiting the property and going on to other people's property as well and causing any undue mischief and damage. The wall itself was replacing a deteriorating wooden retaining wall that was there from the previous ownership. Absolutely needs to be replaced, as well as replace an existing vinyl fence that was rather rickety from the point that we had purchased the property. Certainly, looking at the neighborhood, what other people have installed as far as fencing, it's very similar as far as look is concerned, so we don't feel that it induces any difference to the neighborhood or the look of the road itself. We're certainly looking to improve upon the property. The property was from the original owners and needs much renovation, and the goal is to increase and beautify the property. The fence is a component of it. Excuse me. The fence is a component of that process. Certainly, there's no environmental impact to what's happening. The rear of our property borders onto State Park property, a portion of the Kings Park Psychiatric Center. So it's also intended to keep out nuisance animals, deer, other animals from coming into the property and bringing any unwanted ticks and things of the nature. Certainly from a self-creative perspective, yes, we've paid fines on a permit and everything else and are here just to comply with the regulations. So.
Reviewed your property yesterday. Is that fence on the retaining wall?
Meaning physically embedded into the brick itself?
Right.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It is directly behind it.
We're behind it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was it. Planning?
Nothing, thank you.
Gentlemen,
No question.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Come up, please. You want to just pull that microphone down? Thank you. Your name, please?
My name is Donna Reisinger, R-E-I-S-I-N-G-E-R,
Okay. Your address?
39 Twin Oaks Drive, Kings Park.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
The Calls moved in and constructed a fence to expand their property yard and beautify their property. That's true. In the process of constructing the block wall and the PVC fence. They violated my property, took down my back chain link fence, took out shrubbery that belonged to me in order to put up this wall. The wall is 27 inches high, and above it is a 6-foot PVC fence. So it's more than 8 feet tall, and it really does exceed the height of a fence in a residential area. From the Carl's backyard, they only see a 6-foot fence. Because of the elevation of the property, if you come into my backyard, which I welcome you to do, you will see, and I have pictures for you, a wall. It isn't a fence, it is a wall. It has totally changed the bucolic setting of my yard. I have before pictures to show you what was there. And now I have nothing but grass and a white wall that runs the whole length of my side yard. To move the wall would be a tremendous expense. I understand that. It's right on the property line. It also sits on top of a sewer easement, which the county comes and inspects the sewer, and the sewer plate is right behind my property, and I have a picture to show you that as well. They come and inspect, and they did come and inspect, and actually gave my husband a hard time because they stated that we put the wall on the easement, and we explained to them it was not our wall. The fence is too tall. It is an eyesore in my yard. People come to visit. If we're looking at aesthetics, they say, why do you have such a tall fence in your yard? And they do think it belongs to us. So what we're asking is that someone come and look from our side of the property and lower the fence to what's considered reasonable. I know the Carls have a pool, and I certainly don't want to compromise the well-being of their children and their privacy, and you know, they're animals. We want privacy, and I have children that come and play in my yard too. I'm not looking to give my neighbors a hard time, but I feel my property has been desecrated by the installation of that wall and fence. The last thing I want to say is the wall, I guess the town came, looked at the property, realized the wall had to be modified, and it was left unfinished. I have pictures to show as well, leaving, because it is a block wall, it leaves openings where, you know, we do back up to the Nessequag River State Park. All of the neighbors have had issues with rodents, and Mr. Call is right. We have deer that enter our property all the time. I'm having a terrible time with bees and wasps this year. So having an open block is going to cause vermin to come and make a nest. So I would like that fixed. The problem is, in order to get any work done on that fence, you now have to come into my yard to do it because the wall is right on the property line. So I don't know how the problem will be rectified, but I'm asking that the fence be lowered to a more reasonable height than more than 8 feet. 27 inches and 6 feet is more than 8 feet. Thank you.
Do you have pictures? Are
I
they
do.
labeled?
Yes.
All right, why don't I pass them this way, and then you can pass them this way. Is there anyone else that wanted to be heard? May I have your name, please?
My name is Anita Markowicz, M-A-R-K-O, V as in Victor, I-C-H.
Okay, and your address?
Is 43 Twin Oaks Drive. We are the neighbors.
Excuse me. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
We're the neighbors on the other side
Right.
of the applicants, and we moved into our house before the applicants had. Andrea and Paul, and we saw what was there before, and the yard and the fencing really needed some improvement. When they moved into the house, they were very considerate. They were very careful of the property lines and what they were putting in, and really making sure that the fence really fit into the neighborhood. Most of the houses have this type of fencing around. It's a barrier, it's a safety and environmental issue, and so they were very careful. So our perspective of the fence from what we see, and again, it covers the whole side of our property, and we can see into the back, we find that it's quite an improvement. And along with the fence, they improved the property. The property really wasn't cared for. So along with the fence, they did quite a bit of work to improve the property. I think it fits in with the neighborhood quite well. From our perspective, we felt that it was quite an improvement. Our land borders on state land, so in back of each of our properties is a lot of forest and vacant land. And we had quite an issue with deer and with animals. So when they put up the fence, we felt it was not only an improvement and a safety issue, but it's also a health issue because deer were coming through, and we are very concerned about disease and safety issues. So we saw everything that they did done with a lot of consideration, a lot of discussion with us, and careful planning. And when they put it in, we felt that it was quite an improvement.
Okay, thank you so much. Anyone else? Okay, do you want to come back? I'll give you a chance to answer their concerns.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak again. I just want to address one point. There was discussion about a rear chain link fence and some other property damage and things of this nature. We've already been, we've gone to small claims court, had, judgment rendered against me in a large sum to what I would believe would facilitate restabilizing the foliage that the residents appreciated previously. So to the point of what has existed on this side, there has been additional processes occurring, inclusive of what was removed that they valued so much as far as foliage on that piece of property. So,
Okay.
Could I ask
Thank
a
you.
question?
Yep, you can ask a question.
What's the need for what appears to be 2 retaining walls and 2 fences? The survey shows a timber retaining wall that's 4 to 6 feet from the Reisinger's property line and a PVC fence on the top of that. And then it also indicates a block wall with a PVC fence that apparently, according to this, there's no setback. It looks like it's on the property line, but the public notice says that it's a foot away. How many walls do you really need?
Understood. If it's in reference to the timber wall that
Right.
is on the east side of the property, set back however many couple feet, that was the original wall from the original owners, the rotting timber that was removed. And the brick wall was extended out to closer to the property line. So it's only one wall at this point in time.
The
Okay.
timber wall is not there anymore?
That is correct.
And when was the work done?
The work was done in June 2012.
So that right now there's apparently one block wall, and it's 2 feet high. Is
Yes.
that right? And it's 1 foot from the neighbor's property, or it's on the property line?
It is set back from the property line approximately 6 inches.
Okay. And then immediately behind that is a PVC fence that's 6 feet high?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And it's,
Meaning from the end of the block wall to the point, so
Well-
there's a block cap, there is an inch or so of soil to the point of the fence. So the fence is not constructed into the brick itself.
no, I thought I got that from before, but so like immediately west of the block wall and on the top of the block, or just behind the wall and on the top, from the neighbor's perspective, is the 6-foot PVC fence, right?
Oh, yes, that is correct.
The board has often reminds people that just because something's built doesn't mean that you'd get more favorable consideration. And the opposite holds true as well. The board often says that just because you built it doesn't mean that it's time to get even. They tend to look at things as though it's not built yet, because that's to
Wanna
give
hear those
favorable
pictures, Bill?
consideration to someone who already built it is
Let me show
unfair to
them.
everybody else who waits to get a permit. In this situation, what would the hardship be of lowering the retaining wall, not the retaining wall, the PVC fence from 6 feet to 4 feet? So then you have a combination from the neighbor is then looking at a 6 foot, in essence, a 6 foot combination fence and wall, as
So-
opposed to moving the wall back.
Understood. The issue that would present for me, it would be a reduction on our side, so still a privacy and security concern. Yes, now I would have a 4-foot wall with children and animals and whatnot inside my property, getting to an earlier point of earlier one's greater height over. Let's say the actual experience from within my property is no different than what the original property was. It's just the retaining wall and the fence are closer to the property line. So the experience from my side, having an existing fence there, existing wall, it was completely and totally my error, but not thinking that it would be a different experience on the other side.
What would you think of having the 6 foot PVC fence, but set back far enough from the wall so that some evergreens could be put in between the wall and the fence?
It's to a point, between small claim, it becomes a very cost prohibitive thing. The expense would be substantial for me.
One of the things that this board does consistently is we try to view it from the impacted neighbor's perspective. We're generally more inclined to approve a condition such as this if you had built this and it was facing you and you were the one that had to look at it. But what happens when you do it and somebody else has to look at it, it basically, by making it that impacting, we try to look at it and say, all right, what can we do to minimize the impact on that person? Now, one of the things is that you could put a 4-foot fence, which is what Dave is basically suggesting, and basically gives them the same type of a look because it's right on the property line, which would be consistent with what we've approved in the past. If you want to go 0 right on top of the wall, then okay, a 4-foot fence basically gives them something that isn't as impacting. Barring that, if somebody wants a 6-foot fence to have the privacy in their backyard, we generally will ask them to move it back 2 to 3 feet so that they can plant it to hide the fence so that they don't have to have that. So just so that I guess what we're trying to say is, since we've done this consistently in the past, we're trying to reach out to you and say, which one is going to be easier for you to deal with, because it's highly unlikely that the majority of this board would go for something like that. And in the interest of trying to meet your objective and also protect your neighbor's rights, we want to get your input on it.
I mean, certainly retaining the height for the aforementioned privacy and security is preferable.
Okay?
What if we move the
Um,
fence? Am I allowed to speak since I'm
Yes,
sworn
you
in?
are.
If we move the fence back and plant on their side, we are losing part of our property into theirs. Those trees, anything that we plant would be ours, but how would we maintain them when there is a fence blocking them off? Plus, with having gone to small claims court, the judgment against us is over $3,900 for them to replace what had been cut down that was on the property line to begin with. So we've already are going to need to invest money into replacing foliage that had existed and had blocked a fence. Originally, there already was a wall of the same height, as well as a fence of the same height there when we moved in. Everything was in severe disrepair, and we needed to replace it, not only for the safety on our side, but on theirs as well, so nothing would fall over into their yard. The only change that we had made was just moving it closer to the property line to better be able to utilize our property.
I see on the survey that you submitted, it shows the old fence and retaining wall, and essentially they complied being it says they were 6.5 feet from the property line.
Yes.
Before, which basically is what the ordinance requires now. It would have to be I guess, 2 feet for the fence, and then 2 feet for the retaining wall, and then another 2 feet for the fence. So essentially, it complied before.
We didn't realize that in moving the fence and the wall that we were violating any code. We just assumed we were replacing something that was in disrepair, and we thought that it was allowable.
Right.
You know, until we had been contacted by the town, we had no idea.
I'm trying to point out that it would be uncharacteristic of this board to approve something like that when we see these all the time. And it's tough to say to one applicant, okay, you can do it just because you don't have the funds to do it. I mean, the ordinance has these rules in place, and when we grant them, it's forever. And it runs with the property, not with the applicant. So once we start, we kind of are bound to do it all the time.
If we need to reduce the fence to 4 feet from 6 feet, is that only on the part where it is on top of the wall? Because the wall does not run the entire length of the property. It only runs a small section at the back.
That would be my understanding. I mean, just looking at it, because the grade slopes away as you go, that would be at least mine. I don't know how the rest of the board would feel.
Because given the choice, I would, if it's either, you know, if we can't keep it the way it is, I would rather lower that part of it to 4 feet, lose some of the privacy, eventually find the money to put in the trees on our side where we can actually maintain them, than to have to try, you know, lose some of our property back over to the other side.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, thank you. Did you speak? No. Usually once they come back, I don't let anyone else speak. But go ahead, come on up very quickly, please.
My name is
Let me have your name.
Alan Reisinger,
And your address?
39 Twin Oaks Drive, Kings
All
Park.
right, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay.
I just wanted to make one clarifying statement. The Calls were not aware when they moved in from their survey that there is an 8-foot easement on each side of the property. So in essence, between the two properties, there's 16 feet. That retaining wall that they have and the fence on top of it is almost at the tippy edge of that easement. So when they had the fence put in, their workers had to come on my side of the property to start to put that wall up and work on the fence. And my contention is that if there ever was damage to that fence due to hurricane, what have you, they would have to come on my property, and that would be a liability because there's really not that many, I think it's 6 inches from the end of that 8 feet. So they're on the easement right now. They were unaware, and I understand that their survey did not show that there was an 8-foot easement on their side of the property as well as mine. My survey shows that there's an 8-foot easement on mine as well. And the prior owner had that fence back, I think, 6 feet because he understood, he didn't tell the Calls that, but he understood, okay, that there was an easement. And that Suffolk County Sewerage would come there periodically, once a year, once every 15 months, and they would inspect those sewer lines that run from the street and also run in a T fashion behind the house. And in fact, when the fence was put up, the fence company put it up, there's a sewer plate in the back between our two properties. They put it up on a right angle right over the top of the sewer plate. That has been corrected. But I just want to say that they're on the edge of their property right now, and so should something ever happen to that fence and it needs repair, they'd have to come on my property, and that's a liability to me if some of those workers, something happens.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second?
Really moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, the next case is number 16932. Helen Burns, 66 Amsterdam Road, Smithtown, New York. Location south side of Amsterdam Road, 106 feet east of Asbury Drive, Smithtown. Property zoned R10. The request is a variance to increase paving in the front yard from 25 to 35% and to increase paving in the side yard from 25 to 80%.
May I have your name, please?
Yeah, Helen Burns,
And your address?
66 Amsterdam Road, Smithtown.
Okay.
The
Raise
same
your right
Amsterdam
hand.
that everybody else was here for.
What, honey?
The same Amsterdam everybody else
Yeah.
was here for.
We passed your house 3 times yesterday.
Oh, really? So then you can see that there's nothing wrong with the way the driveway is located.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. Okay, so I've put in a variance for an increase in the paving, I guess the paving area of my front yard from 25% to approximately 35%, and my side yard from 25% to approximately 80%. The front yard, there's an S-curve that was built to the front door. My house is new construction. When I built the house, the builder that built the house did not do the driveway for me. I had it done separately, and I was not aware of the requirements. Apparently, the guy that did the paving for me says he wasn't aware of it either, but I find that hard to believe. But anyway, basically, I built the driveway pretty much the same way I had the original. I had a double two-car garage, so I had a double wide driveway. When I rebuilt the house, we changed the footprint. It became a single-car garage, but I still wanted the width, so I used the side yard without really understanding it or understanding the requirements. The side yard itself, many of my neighbors have the same exact type of driveway that I have. Fortunately, on my particular piece of property, my side yard is adjacent to 2 backyards. So there is nobody that has any direct access or where this would bother anybody, the way it's located.
Okay. Planning?
Nothing, thank you.
Gentlemen? No. Okay, thank you. Was there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second?
Really moves second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mash. Close.
The
Okay.
next case is 16933, Melissa McDougal, 22 Gristmill Drive, Kings Park, New York. Location, south side of Gristmill Drive, 53 feet west of Gristmill Court, Kings Park. Property zoned R10. Request variance to increase paving in the front yard from 25 to 50% and to increase paving in the side yard from 25 to 41%.
Have your name, please,
Melissa McDougal,
and your address, Melissa.
22 Gristmill Drive.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Good, thanks.
I'm proposing a variance to increase the maximum permitted paved surface in the front from 25 to 50 and the east side from 25 to 41. There's major flooding due to the clay that does not allow drainage. The water sits in puddles and for an extended period of time causing problems. Paving would not affect any neighboring property physically, financially, or environmentally. We have received no complaints from the neighbors with our proposed plans, and it was recommended by professionals paving would be the best solution to our problem. Thank you.
Do you need to go all the way to the property line with the paving?
The way it goes like, our driveway's like this, where it
Yes,
is,
I've
and then
been
it goes
there.
like straight down. The neighbor planted all kinds of trees there, and they're all brown. He did it like 3 months ago.
Planning?
No comments, thank you.
Gentlemen?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second?
Ready, moved, and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
The next case is 16934, Patricia Richard, 3 Chris Court, Northport, New York. Location, east side of Chris Court, 162 feet east of Breezy Hill Drive, Fort Salonga. Property zoned R43. Request variance to increase permitted size of accessory structures in rear yard from 750 to 1,062 square feet for an existing 308 square foot barn and a proposed 754 square foot cabana.
You have your name, please?
Brittany Rigoli, Rigoli.
Is the applicant here?
We are the applicant, for the homeowner. I'm the architect.
What?
We work for the architect, and we have been the applicant through the whole
Do you have
process.
a power of attorney?
All the paperwork was submitted with the application.
The applicant is Patricia Richards, and
Right.
who has to have a power of attorney from Patricia Richards.
I had submitted everything myself, and that had never come up.
You want to look at this? But, yeah. She's the applicant.
There's no power of attorney.
No, I know, I went through that file before.
Oh, okay.
We can't hear this case.
If she gets here before the hearing is over, will we be able to do it?
If she gets here before, I certainly will let her come up.
And I had brought in the application myself, and I had never was aware, because the planning board, they knew that I would
It
work
says
for
it
the
right on
architect.
the application, you need a power of attorney, or the applicant must appear,
Okay.
okay?
All right, well, I'll see if she can get here.
All right? So do you want to give her a call and see? Okay, thanks. Okay, let's move on then.
The next case is 16935, Christopher Kiefer, 272 7th Avenue, St. James, New York. Location, northwest corner of 5th Street and 7th Avenue, St. James. Property zoned R10. Request, variance to reduce the minimum front yard setback from the curb from 20 to 17 feet for an existing 6-foot fence.
My name is Chris Kiefer, Keefer.
And your address, Chris?
272 7th Avenue, St. James.
Okay, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
I'm here today to apply for variance for a front yard setback. You'll be able to see with the survey that I submitted, it's really my side yard. I'm here to submit for the variance to reduce the setback from 20 to 17 feet 7 inches. Currently, my 6-foot PVC fence is 17 feet 7 inches from the curb line. It spans 46 feet towards the intersection of 7th Avenue and 5th Street. I recently purchased this house. It was a year just this week. The fence was existing. Somehow it was lost in the closing. I'm here to deal with it now. In going through this process, I had a chance to speak to all my neighbors in regards to the letters going out. No one seems to have a problem with this. Again, I'm here just to request for that 2 feet 5 inch variance.
Okay. Do you realize because you're a corner lot, it's 2 front yards? So
I know. I'm aware of that now.
Okay. Planning? Gentlemen?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
The next case is 16,936. Jeffrey and Dina Constantino, 314 Terry Road, Smithtown, New York. Location, west side of Terry Road, 144 feet north of Eaton Path, Smithtown. Property zoned R15. Request is a variance to reduce the minimum distance from any lot line from 8 to 2 feet for an existing 750 square foot patio, and to permit environmentally sensitive land, that is, where the depth to groundwater is less than 10 feet, to be altered.
Good evening.
You have your name and address, please.
Jeffrey Constantino at 314 Terry Road.
Okay, raise your right hand, please. You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Okay, you want to tell us why you're here, please?
Yeah, I'm here tonight for a variance to decrease my minimum distance from any lot line from 8 feet to 2.8 feet. We had built a 750 square foot raised paver patio, and there were no negative changes in the characteristics of the neighborhood. Actually, the reason that it was built to begin with was because that side of my property had a slope, and the slope was constantly eroding, and it was establishing a low point actually in the corner of the properties. So this patio helps to preserve all of that. It's not visible from neighbors' property, and there's no intrusion in privacy. It's actually been additional plantings and a tree put up to preserve all of that. Actually, even with a lot of the rain that we've had more recently in the past, before this was up, we had a lot of areas where there was ponding and puddling, and it's actually been distributed more because of the way that we laid it out, even more evenly across the property. I had ponding across the back and in the corner, and now there's none of that. It's all actually dispersed down through, because we used to have a lot of pea gravel up on the hill going down there, and that's all been buried, and it's a lot better drainage in the property now.
Okay. Planning?
Nothing, thank you.
Gentlemen?
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Really moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Okay, we'll be going to the adjourned cases now.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, the next case is number 16924, Wayne and Elaine Trumbull, 49 Soundview Drive, Fort Salonga, New York. Location, southeast corner of Beach Hill Drive and Soundview Road, Fort Salonga. Property zoned R21. The request is a variance to reduce the minimum front yard on Soundview Drive from 50 feet to 37 feet for a proposed 203 square foot porch, and to increase the maximum paved surface in the rear yard
Or power of attorney.
from 25 to
She has to
33%
come back
existing.
again. She has a lot of variances. She wants to have 2 hearings. She doesn't want to do it that way. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Off, right?
Okay, just let me, I'll adjourn it to June 25th. All right? Let me explain something to you. She needs to be here because she's the applicant, If she's not, you need a formal power of attorney. It's a Bloomberg, you can get it at any stationery store, I believe, all right? And make sure it's notarized and everything, okay?
Yeah.
You're welcome. Huh? June 25th. I'll tell you, you want me to tell you the case? Wouldn't that be nice?
We
One
have
six,
an adjournment.
go ahead.
One adjournment from the previous
16934, Patricia Richards. All right? Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead. Let me
That's
have your
okay.
name.
Good evening, Chairperson, members of the board. My name is George Siddell.
Wait,
I'm here with...
time.
Wait,
Stop.
what?
You want me to do it?
Okay. He needs, huh?
Okay, it's case 16924. Sure.
Now, wait a minute. You're not the applicant.
I'm the architect. This is the
I
applicant.
need the, let's not go through this again. Where is the power of attorney?
I have it right here.
Oh,
But she's there, why not?
Well, she could do it. You could, she just
Yeah.
needs to be sworn in.
do it.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. That's all I have.
You don't have to say anything. Let me have your name.
My name's Elaine Trumbull,
And your address.
49 Soundview Drive, Fort Salonga, New York.
All right. You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Now, would you like this gentleman to speak for you?
Yes, I would.
Okay. That's all we have to do.
Parliamentary
You want to move
procedure.
that up a little bit?
This, sure.
Yeah, please. Maybe right in front. I guess, okay. Can they, huh?
Not in the budget.
Not in the budget. Can,
Check under the chair.
can we put it on the?
I don't think you really need it.
Town attorney will stand there and hold it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're going to ask you to restate everything. Go ahead.
Okay. My name is George Siddell, S as in Sam, UDDELL 202-11, East Shore Road, Huntington, New York. I am the architect of record.
Okay. Want to tell us why you're here, please?
Yes, we're here to look for relief for a front yard. We have an existing corner lot with 2 front yard properties. We're looking for relief on a front yard setback from 50 feet to 37 feet. What the applicants, and I had some photographs of the existing house, the existing dwelling itself is sort of like a California ranch, very low roof line, not a lot of architectural detailing in the home itself. What the homeowners really want to do is add a little architectural detail to this house, give it a little bit more of an arts and craftsy kind of look, and because it's a corner lot, their technical backyard is only about 16 feet. So their young children play in the front yard all the time. What we're looking to do is create sort of a portico or a portico, open structure with some columns that they could put a couple of Adirondack chairs, a porch basically, to the front of the house. Some Adirondack chairs to watch the kids play into the front yard. The house has a property that sort of dips down to the lower area so that the bigger piece of property or a larger piece of the property, which is on the north side, isn't connected directly to the main living area itself. So they find that they use this side of the property quite often, and they love the neighborhood, and actually it's a corner lot, so it has some open views. It's a nice place to sit and enjoy the views of the neighborhood, and it's a nice neighborhood, and people walk around, and it's nice to have a porch to sit on and maybe have a beer or something, you know, relax. So that's what we're doing, the relief on that, and then some square footage for paving on the rear yard of the property, which is around an existing pool. And again, it's not anything overly dramatic as far as the paving is concerned. I have photographs of the paving around the pool if you'd like to take a look at that. But it's sparse, it's nothing overly dramatic, and these are the issues that we just want to get through so we can move forward to get a permit to go ahead and build the job. As far as some of the items relating the questions, the 5 statements, number one, the property of what we're looking to do to the house is basically not going to affect any adjacent dwellings because it's in the center of the existing dwelling. The addition that we're looking to get relief on is only 10% of the dwelling facade itself. It can't be achieved any other way because that's exactly where the existing front door is, and that's how they enter into the house. And it won't be detrimental to the environment because the area is, somewhat fully developed. And that this is why we're here in front of the board. Again, it's relief.
Planning?
I just sort of feel compelled to say this has got to bring up the property values in the neighborhood. I mean, this is a marvelous
It
addition.
certainly is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Gentlemen, anything?
No question.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Is ready to move in second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay. Are they coming?
5-minute break?
Yeah, we'll take a break.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our hearings for tonight. Thank you so much.